Next, in this video, we will see the exact coding part, how this database is going to work it out, right? So in the previous video, we learned the basic concepts of what is database, how the SQLite is going to working on, what are the different classes and then methods we are going to use to operate this SQLite database within your front end, I mean the Android app, within your Android application, how the way we have to incorporate this SQLite database, right? So in the previous video, in the theoretical part, we have know the basic concept about it. So in this video, we will understand how the way the coding part is exactly is going to work on, right? So before that, just you can see the output. Okay, so this is the simulator, the mobile app, which you can run it. So this is the output mode. So here we are having the text boxes, username. So here we can enter the username and then password, and then we can add the user. So similarly, we are having a table, we are having a database, and then table, within a table we are going to insert some records. Okay, so in the coding part, I'll let you know how the way we have created the database, and then within a database how we have created a table, everything. So in the output mode, I'm showing that we are having a table. Within your table, we are having two attributes like username and then password. Okay, so if I'm giving a username, here you have to give the username in the edit boxes, and then we have to give a password here. If I'm clicking the add user, the details of your username and then password will be added. If I'm clicking this add user button, the information will be added to your database. And then if I'm clicking this view data, the information which are all pooled, which are all stored within the database, everything will be shown it up. So this add user is nothing but it's not going to work it out only single time. Okay, so any number of time you can insert any kind of variable, data like username and then password. Again, you can click on this add user, and then if you want to enter another information, if you want to enter another data, means again you have to use this enter name and then password. Again, you have to click this add user, and then finally, if you're viewing this data, what are the informations you have stored within your database, everything will be shown in a way of toast. Probably you people know what is the toast. So it's a kind of display purpose. We are having this toast. So for a particular period of time, it's going to display the information. So here I'm having three records like VPS Kirti is the username, and then check is a password. The same way Sudha is another username, and then yes is another password. The same way Vishnu Vardhan, I think, yeah, this is the username, and then ZE123 is the password. And then before that we are having 346. So this is the auto generation ID. Whenever you are entering a new data, whenever you are entering a new entry to your table, okay, so this auto generation ID will be taken care of your table. Okay, so for this in the coding part, we will know how the way this incrementing process has been done in an automatic way in our database. Okay, so and then here we are having two edit boxes like current name and then new name, and then we are having a update process also. So current name is, if I'm giving us VPS Kirti, this is the current name. So here I'm going to give a current name. So this current name is going to change it as some kind of different name. Apart from the VPS Kirti, just I'm going to mention as Kirti means. So here I have to give the new name here, and then you have to click this update, right? So after this update, your process will be updated, and then if you want to view the updated process, means again you have to click on this view data. Okay, so and then here we are having this name. Here enter the name which is to be deleted. So this is the deleting process. So here you have to give the name. Again, I'm going to give it as a Sudha. SUDHA. Just you can make sure that the case sensitives. So obviously your data will be in a case sensitive. So you have to give the exact name which you have mentioned in the table, which you have mentioned in the particular attribute. Okay, so here I'm going to give a name Sudha. So this second row, this second row is going to delete, means I have to give a name here and then click on this delete button. Okay, so after this deletion process completion, if you want to know the updated information, is again we have to click this view data. Okay, so this is the entire process So in this entire process, we are having the operation of addition, viewing, updation, and then deletion. So using of these two text boxes, we can give a new entry. So after the new entry, we have to click this add user. After the new entry, if you want to view this data, we have to click on this view data button. And then if you want to make any kind of changes, like for the particular field, okay, so here I have given a updation for a single field. If you want, we can update for multiple fields also. It's not an issue, right? So the current name and then new name. So the existing name you have to give, and then the new name you have to give, and then click on this update. Okay, the same way if you want to delete a particular row, I mean based on the particular attribute only we have to delete it. So I'm going to give a name here. Okay, so here I have mentioned only the attribute of name attribute itself I have given. For example, if you are giving a password as an attribute, means surely we can give a password to delete a particular row. So it's up to us. So as a programmer, we can give any attribute to update or maybe to delete it. Okay, we will directly move on to the coding part. So in this coding, we are having several files over there. So activity.xml is nothing but where you can give the complete layout of your environment. You can place any number of controls. The complete designing part will be in the activity.xml by the way of XML format, right? So we can give any layout options, not only like a linear layout. We can give any, I mean by default constraint layout only itself you can have. So designing is up to you. Any kind of design you can make. So it's not going to interrupt your SQL code. Okay, so designing is up to you. Probably people have well known about it. So you can give your designing part. So only thing is I want to mention that a simple attribute. The simple attribute that we have given as the hint, enter password. So if using of this hint attribute, it's going to visible in your environment. If you're typing in that particular text box, the enter password is going to be hidden. So at the very first time, it's going to show it as an enter password. So in the edit boxes, it's going to give a intuition to the user to type something here. Okay, so within your text box, at the very first time, it's going to show as an enter password. Whenever you are clicking in the particular button, it's automatically get into the invisible mode. So this is I hope this is the new one you are going to learn about, especially for the properties. Okay, so this is the designing part where you can place the number of controls in the designing mode. We are seeing different controls in a layout formats. And then next we are having a main activity.xml. Main activity.xml where you can incorporate all kind of codings. Events, listeners, everything will be there. Next we are having mydbadapter.java. So this is not an activity. So it's a kind of Java file. So probably in the previous classes, how to insert an activity, how to insert an empty activity. So every activity consists of your XML file for designing, and then your main.activity Java for your coding. Okay, so here we are not going to incorporate the activity, just we are going to add only the Java file because I need some kind of coding part itself. So we are having mydbadapter.java and then message.java. So I'm going to clear that we are having 4 files over there. First one is the empty activity, which is by default is going to open when you are creating your project. So activity.xml, it's completely for your designing part, and then main activity.java, it's nothing but the entire coding of your corresponding events, and then corresponding controls will be there within your main activity. Apart from this, we are creating a Java file. So 2 Java file we are creating. I'll let you know so for what purpose we have created this Java file. Okay, so please wait. Yeah, I hope this, and you people can see this environment much clearer. So see this, that means we are having this main activity. So this is the activity we are having. So within your main activity, you're able to know, the entire coding process of your activity.xml will be there. And then we are having a message and then MyDB adapter. So two Java file is there. Okay. So how we have to create this the same way. You have to right click here and then as a way how you are creating your activity, the same way you have to choose a new Java file apart from the activity. Okay, this is the only difference in this program. So hope you understand. So this is the message and then MyDB adapter. You are having a two Java file. How you have to create is you have to right click here and then new, click on the new. Okay, so afterwards you have to choose the Java file apart from the activity. Okay, so within your Java file you can give a name like message and then MyDB adapter. So I let you know how this message and then MyDB adapter is going to work. I mean what sort of code is there to work it out, right? So at the very first time we will move on to the messages. Okay, so why we are having these kind of split up code is whenever you people are working to the IT industry, probably they are expecting these kind of splitting up of codes. I mean common codes like presentation layer, business layer, applications layer. Okay, so different people can do different kind of activities within your same project. So some people can do only the designing part, some people can do only the interface part to interact with the user and then with your databases. Some people can do only the database concept. So for a single project they can have these kind of activities will be done by the different peoples within you who are all working in a project. Okay, so I hope this is little bit huge kind of code, but still you have to learn because you are studying this Android. This is a very high-end package, high-end software. So definitely you have to know this kind of high-end coding. This will be useful when your people are working to the IT industry, right? So we will look into this message.java. So this message.java is a Java file where you are having a different kind of coding, right? So here we are having some set of coding to know about. So at the initial stage, we are having package com.example.database app. So this database app is nothing but is a name of my project. I mean, here I have given as database app. Okay, this is the name which I have given for the entire project. That's what it's having in a way of package format. And then import android.content.context. Okay, and then import android.widget.toast. So we are having we are importing two classes. Okay, we are importing two classes like context and then toast. Okay, so what is the use of this context is nothing but is going to give you the complete informations of your activity. I mean, if you want to pass any kind of information to another activity, means definitely we can make sure this is going to give you the present what are happening in the present present actions, present activity. So which activity I'm using, so what kind of informations I'm going to pass from one activity to another activity. So it's going to give you the complete idea about the present situations of an activity. So that's what we are having this context. So probably in the by the way of communications, by normal way of English communication, you normally we will speak in what context you are speaking. So either in a polite way or maybe in a rude way. The context is going to mean the exact situation of your environment. The same way here, this context is nothing but it's going to give you the present activity situation. So for example, within your application we can have different activity means, so in which activity what is happening, so whether I want to pass any information to the another activity. Okay, so this kind of this is the main use of this context, is going to give you the complete representation of a present situations of a particular activity. And then toast is nothing but we already know, for the displaying purpose we are having this toast. So it's going to display for some time. Okay, so without occupying any other places within your environment. Especially we are using this Android app, mobile applications. So we have to be very peculiar or designing your controls. We cannot accommodate different kind of controls. So especially for a displaying purpose, if you are depending on controls means, or obviously it will occupy some space. So probably without having much occupying of your spaces, definitely we have to move on this those concepts. Okay, so this is the class, public class message is a class. Okay, so and then public stat void message is a okay, this is another method which is a user defined method. So within a user defined method I'm passing two parameters like context and then context and then string messages. Okay, so toast dot make text, so this is the method we are passing this context which I have passed here, and then message which we are passing the message, the second parameter of your method, and then we are making sure the toast dot length long, I mean the toast is specifying in a mode of length, I mean some kind of lengthy informations can be shown. Finally we are putting as a show, I mean your content will be shown. So why we are having this message.java is, so whenever within your project, whenever you want to display any kind of information, apart from writing this toast.make text in each and every places, just we are going to call this method itself. Okay, so I hope I'm making you clear. So apart from toast, I mean to write this toast.make text in every code where we need to display information. Apart from this, we are having this in a separate class. Within a separate class we are having a separate user defined method, and then within your method we are passing this toast. So this is the main use of this message.java. Okay, next we will move on to this coding part of mydb adapter.java. Okay, so here in this mydb adapter.java, what they are having is the entire operation of your database concept. So in the previous video we know that we are having two classes, I mean SQLite database and then SQLite open helper. No, so where to create your databases and then to activate your SQL operations like insertion, updations, everything is there. No, the complete database operations will be there, I mean the exact syntaxes of your database operations will be kept within your mydb adapter.java. Okay, so here the same way package com.example.database app is nothing but the entire I mean the packages of your project will be there. This database app is nothing but it's the name of your project. That's what is showing at the topmost of your every file which you are inserting either in activity or maybe the different kind of Java file. That the very first time we can see this package. Okay, so only to implies that this is the common common file of this, the same project. That's the only intimation it's going to give to the system, right? The same way we are having another importing of classes or content classes. So content values is nothing but where we can give the informations, where we can give the data of your table. So this content value is consists of your attributes of your table and then corresponding data for your attributes. Okay, so the context which we have seen that the present situation of your entire activity will be shown in the context, and then we are importing the cursor. So cursor is a pointer, we can say it as a pointer. For example, here see that I'm having a mouse. No, so this mouse is having a cursor, so which is using of this cursor I can pinpoint a particular statement, I can highlight this statement. Okay, the same way using of this cursor, this is going to act as a similar kind of activity within your database also. So within your database, if you want to activate any a table, or maybe within your table if you want to activate, if you want to show, or if you want to modify any rows, means it's going to pinpoint a particular row. Okay, so to point a particular row we have to make use of this cursor. Okay, so this cursor is another kind of classes we have to import it. And then in the previous video we have seen, no, we are having this SQLite database and then SQLite open helper. So we need of two classes, we need of this two classes to incorporate different predefined methods within your environment. So here the public class myAdapter, this is the same name which you have created for a Java file. No, the same name can be applicable for this class, public class myAdapter. And then after next to that we are having mydb helper. So mydb helper is another class. We are creating a object for this my helper. So MyDB adapter, we have created a Java file. So within your MyDB adapter, we are having MyDB helper also. So just before going into that, we will see this MyDB helper. Okay. So this is a same Java file. Here we are having MyDB adapter. Just you can see this within your Java file, we are having a inner class. See this? Within your same Java file, we are having a inner class like static class MyDB helper. Okay. So within your MyDB helper class, we are extending SQLite open helper. So static class MyDB helper extends and then SQLite open helper. So we already know that what is the use of this SQLite open helper. So within your SQL OpenLite helper, we can have the process of creation of your database and then table and upgradation of your environment, either to update your version in a higher mode or maybe in a lower mode. So these kind of activities will be there in your SQLite open helper. Okay. So within your inner class, what we are having is private static final string database name equal to my database. So here using of this string variable, here I am giving a database name. So my database name is my database. And then here we are having a table name. So this is a string variable and then we are having a table name and then my table name is my table. Okay. The same way we are having a in database version. So we have to give the version of your database. So by default, I am giving a version as 1. So and then we are having a UID, I mean the user ID. So here the user ID is -ID. I'm giving a ID like this. Okay. So and then within your name. Okay. So within a string, I'm mentioning the name. So this is a name. I'm giving us a name like this. And then my password is another variable. Here I'm giving us a password. Okay. So you might be confused why I'm giving like this. Okay. So here we are giving a database name, table name, and then attribute of your table. So my database name is my database, my table name is my table, and then I am giving a version of my database version as 1. And then here I am having of 3 attributes. This ID is a auto generation ID. We will see that. And then string name. Okay, this is the name. This is the name attribute, and then we are having a password attribute. Okay, so these are all the fields for my table. Okay, so we are having our database and then table name, and then within your table we are having a 3 attributes. I mean this ID will be auto generator, and then we are having a name and then password. So using of your string data type, which with the string variable only, just we have assigned the name of the attribute, but still we not at all exactly create the table. Okay, so within your string itself, what you have to do is you have to create the table. So create a table is another string variable. Here you have to write the query. This is very important. This is the query, you have to write it. So create table, table name. So and then within this you have to pass the parameter as user ID and then integer primary key auto increment, and then here you have to specify this comma, and then you have to give the name attribute. Here you are mentioning the data type of your name, I mean varchar 255, and then you have to specify this comma, and then my password. Again you have to mention the what is that we have to mention the data type of it. Okay, so this is the creation of your table. So this is the entire query to create your table, right? So you might know in the database RDBMS subject, I think so. This is the way you have to create your table. This is the query to create your table. That is nothing but we have to give a complete query in a string. So create table. This is the create table statement. Within this you have to pass the table name, and then you have to give the attributes, user ID, So this is the user ID, data type is integer, and then you are specifying as primary key auto increment. So why we have to give it as a primary key auto increment is this user ID is going to be generated in a automatic way. And then to specify second attribute, you have to mention it as a comma, and then you have to mention the second attribute name, and then you have to mention the data type of your second attribute as varchar 255, and then to mention your third attribute you have to specify as comma, and then give your third attribute, third field name is my password, and then you have to mention your data type of your third field, that is a varchar. So varchar is nothing but is going to accept the character by the length of 255. Okay, so this user ID is peculiarly in an integer data type, and then is automatically incremented whenever you are adding a new data. Okay, so and then private context equal to context. So as usual, it's going to get the present situation of your complete environment, and then sorry for the interruption. Yeah, where we have stopped. Yes. Okay, so we have we have assigned the query. Okay, we have assigned the query within your string variable. Still the creation of table is not yet processed. Okay, so what we have to do is, this is the private context and then context. So MyDB helper is a constructor. Okay, so MyDB helper is a inner class of your MyDB adapter. So here my public MyDB helper is a constructor of your inner class. So here we are passing this context, and then this is the super, we are activating the super class constructor. Okay, so what is this super class here? What is this super class? Just you can see this. So in your Java you might experience with the inheritance concept. So just you can see this MyDB helper is a class, and then it extends SQLite open helper. Okay, so this MyDB helper is a class, it extends SQLite open helper. So this SQLite open helper will be called it as an base class. This MyDB helper is going to call it as a derived class. Okay, so if I am mentioning as extends is nothing but this MyDB helper is going to inherit all the informations of your SQLite open helper. Okay, so if I am mentioning as super means obviously it's going to seek for this SQLite open helper, right? So it's going to obviously activate the constructor of your SQLite open helper. So see this, so within your MyDB helper constructor, we are activating this super. So SQLite open helper base class constructor is going to activate here. So here we are passing the context. So context is nothing but we are taking care of the present situation of your activity. That's what every time we have to mention this context, and then we have to give the database name. So okay, within your database, please wait. Okay, here we have to give the database name. So and then next part we have to give it as a null. So this null is nothing but we are giving a factory method. Factory means cursor factory. So the third parameter you have to give it as a null. By default it's going to take it as a cursor whenever you are activating your database table, or if you want to make any kind of modifications means surely the default cursor will be take it up. That's what we are giving this third parameter as a null. And then finally you have to give the database version. Okay, so whenever this super is activated, whenever your base class constructor is activated, in this part your database is created. Okay, so my database, this is your name, no? So within your database name we are having Where is that? This is the database name. So my database is the name of my database. So your database is created. Okay. So in this line, your database is created. Finally, we are acknowledging that this dot context equal to context. So what are the activities we are doing is going to be applicable for the current context which we are doing, right? Next, we will move on to this public void on create. Okay, public void on create. So this is a predefined method we already know in the previous PowerPoint. So public void on create. So here we are passing SQLite database DB, where you can the complete operation of database operations will be there. Okay, so here try catch is nothing but the exception handler. Within your try we can put all kind of coding. So in case if I'm having any kind of errors, it will be shown in the catch part. Okay, so within your on create predefined method. Okay, so db.exe SQL, so it's nothing but it's going to execute the query which is defined in this parameter. Okay, so db is nothing but this is the object of your SQL database. So db.exe SQL. Okay, so create table. So what we are having in this create table, so just we can look into this previous code, what we are having in this create previous table. Yes, this is the create table. Okay, so within your create table we are having a complete query. How the way we have to create your table now. So the create table, table name, and then the corresponding table name, the corresponding attribute, and then the respective data type of your attribute have been mentioned in a way of comma separated values, right? Okay, this is the query. So the complete query is mentioned in a create table string. So what we have to do is, within your on create, db.exe SQL. So within your on create method, we have to execute this create table query. To execute this create table query, we need this db.execute exe SQL method. Okay, so within your method, we have to pass this query. So obviously you can directly give the query itself, but still we are defining completely in a way of layers mode, no, business layers, applications layer, no. So that's what we are doing everything in a way of user defines and then predefined methods. Okay, so within your create table we are having a complete query to create your table. So we have to pass this string variable within your exec SQL method. So after the statement executed, your table will be created. Okay, so this is the part we are having public void on upgrade. Okay, so this is also a predefined method which is available in the SQLite helper. So public void on upgrade SQLite database DB int old versions and then new versions. Okay, so we are having the same kind of three parameters. No, so SQL database DB means the entire database operations will be handled using of this object. And then we have to give the old version of your database and then the new version of your database. In case if you want to upgrade it, we have to make use of this method, but still this method should be written in an appropriate way. This must be written. Okay, so within your try we are having this message context and then on upgrade. Okay, so nothing but message is a class node which we have already known. This is the message dot tower. Within your message we have to activate this message, right? Message method. So here you can show the information. So it's nothing but apart from the toes, we are incorporating this, we are calling this class. Okay, and then appropriate method to show the information. The same way db.exe SQL drop table. So within your drop table we have mentioned the drop table query also. Yes, you can see this. This is the drop table. Drop table means if exist table name. Okay, so if already the table is exist, if you want to create it again, okay, so I can make use of this drop table. Your table will be dropped if it is already exist. If you want to create it new, I want to remove all the data, I want to remove all the inserted data which is already there, I want to drop it, means I have to make use of this. Okay, that's what they are saying as in new versions apart from the exact meaning of the second and then third parameter, just you are going to drop the table. Okay, the same way db.exec sql drop table, and then on create we have to call this predefined on create as db. Okay, after the dropping of this table, again we have to create it. Okay. Okay. So this is the mydb adapter.java. So within your mydb adapter.java, as I said, we are having some set of import statements is also there. Within your mydb adapter also we are having this mydb helper class is there. I mean, as an inner class we are having this mydb helper. So within your mydb helper, what we have done, the database creation, table creation, and then upgradations. I mean, either if I want to drop my table, I can drop it. Okay, so these kind of activities is there within your mydb helper. Okay, so now we can move on to this operation of mydb adapter. So within your mydb adapter, this is the constructor. Again we are passing this context, and then my helper equal to mydb helper of context. Okay, my helper equal to mydb helper of context. So what is this? My helper is a class. So after creating object for this class, we are activating this. Okay, we are I mean mydb helper bracket context. Okay, so after this writing this statement, what your system will do is automatically it will get into this mydb helper area. Okay, so this is the mydb helper area, right? So after this statement executed, where it's going to go is directly it will get into the constructor. Already we said that whenever you are creating an object and then whenever you are activating an object, by default at the very first time it's going to call your constructor. Okay, so in your mydb adapter you have called your mydb helper no, so automatically it will call this constructor. Okay, right? So after calling this constructor, what it will do, it will create a database. It will create a database, and then automatically it will create a table also, right? So your table database creations and then table creation is processed here, right? Okay. And then this is the part of insertion of your code. I mean public long insertion of your data. So within this we are passing the string name and then string password. I mean we are passing the username and then password. SQL database DB. Here we are incorporating this class, and the DBB is a object. Okay. So my helper dot get writable database. My helper is nothing but this is the object of your database. Okay. To insert your data, at the very first time we have to open this connection of your database. I mean your database environment should be open, your table should be open to activate it, and then it having the privilege to write, and then you can it should have a privilege to modify your content. No, so that is the main reason we are giving as in my helper dot get writable database. And then content values the class, we are giving an object as content values, and then new content values, we are creating a new space for this, and then here content values dot put. So put is a method where you have to mention your the complete attribute name of your data table. Okay, mydb helper dot name. Okay, so within a mydb helper dot name you are having a name of your table attribute, and then you have to give the corresponding name. Okay, so which is passed from this parameter, and then content values dot put, and then mydb helper dot my password. This is the attribute of your second attribute of your table, which is second attribute of your table. In the first parameter you have to mention the name of your attribute, and then second you have to pass the content of your attribute. Okay, finally you are mentioning as long id equal to dbb dot insert. So dbb is a object of your SQL database. So insert is a method, is a predefined method. So what you have to give is you have to give the parameters. So at the very first time you have to give a table name. Okay, so within your table only you are going to mention the when you are going to make an entry, no? So the first parameter you have to give the table name, and then second parameter you have to give the null statement. Null statement means, so in the previous PowerPoint presentation we have mentioned the second parameter is only for strongly we have to mention the attribute name with the corresponding data. Okay, this is the attribute name, the corresponding data. Your table can accept the null value, but still strongly we have to mention the attribute name and then corresponding data rather than the data itself. Okay, that's what we are mentioning second parameter as null. And then third thing is we are mentioning the content values. So this is the content value. So within your content value what we are having is, so the entire attribute and then corresponding data will be there within your content values. Okay, so which will be passed in the content value. Okay, finally we are returning this ID. Okay, so this is the process to create, to insert your data within the environment. But still, so how I am going to activate this? Anyway we are going to return some ID, so obviously we are having one step ahead. One step previous coding is there to activate it. So just I'm mentioning the intermediate part of your code. Okay, so this is the insertion part of your data entry, right? The same way we are having get data is there. So get data means after insertion, if I want to get some data means I have to make use of this get data. So SQLite database DB equal to my helper dot get writable. Okay, so my helper is nothing but this is the inner class. So get writable database. So using of this get writable database options only, I able to open my database in a I able to give a privilege to modify my environment in a writable mode, and then your database will be in a open mode. Your database and the table will be in an open mode to activate it. Okay, so here this is the column. Okay, string array, we are creating a string array. So here we have to mention my db helper dot uid. My db helper dot name is nothing but which we have already mentioned, no? Just you can see here. Yeah, this is the UID name and then password within your inner class of my DB helper. We already assigned this string. Okay, this is the string we are activating here, right? Okay, so here we have to mention the column, user ID and then name and then password. Okay, so and then we have to mention the cursor. So I already mentioned that cursor is nothing but we have to pinpoint the particular row. Each and every row whenever we are accessing a database, whenever we are accessing a table. Okay, so every row is getting into the accessing mode, no? So each and every table is going to be touched. Okay, so for this I need a pointer. So this pointer is called it as in cursor. So this db.query, okay, db.query is a method, predefined method, db.query. So within this you have to pass the parameter as my db helper table name. Okay, so the first parameter you have to mention the table name. Second parameter you have to mention the column. Okay, so what are the column you have to display? So how many, what are the columns you are having within your table? I want to display the entire column means I have to put everything in a way of array, no? String array, right? So here the user ID, name and then password. So this three attribute is consists within your array, right? So you have to pass this column here, right? So and then the next we are having the 5 parameters as null. Okay, so the 5 parameters nothing but either your the selection of your data will be have some kind of constraint, like if you want to use a where conditions, or maybe if you want to make a ascending or maybe descending order, we can make use of this 5 parameters. So for now this 5 parameters is putting as a null. Okay, so second you are having a string buffer. So string buffer is a class, this is the object, and then you are having this new string buffer like this. Okay, so while within your while statement you have to mention that cursor dot move to next. Okay, cursor dot move to next, we are putting everything in a while. So your table is consists of different rows. Okay, maybe more number of rows, no? So I'm going to touch each and every row one by one. So for this I'm having this while condition, right? So within your while conditions we are having the condition like cursor dot move to next of. So this cursor is a predefined object, predefined class. So it's having a predefined built-in functions, right? Built-in function move to next is the built-in function of your cursor. So at the very first time it will check for the first row, and then it's going to move on the next row. So when this while loop is getting into off is, so it's after reaching the last row, automatically it will get into this statement. Okay, so at the very first time the cursor will be in the first point. So cursor dot get int of cursor dot column index mydb helper dot uid. So here I am going to the cursor is just, you can assume that the cursor is in a first row. So within your first row definitely you will be having your attribute. Definitely you will be having your user ID and then username and then password. Okay, this is the attribute, this is a sequential attribute. No, so to get the attribute information we have to use this method cursor dot get int of. This user ID is a integer data type, that's what I'm using this get int of. Okay, so cursor dot get column index is nothing but it to receive the information of a particular column or maybe particular attribute of your table. So get column index, and then within your bracket we have to mention mydb helper dot uid. Okay, mydb helper dot uid, right? The same way cursor dot get string of, the same way cursor dot get column index mydb helper dot name. So here mydb helper dot name is the attribute name of your table, second attribute name. Okay, so what we have to do is get column index. So using of this attribute name we can retrieve the information of your second column. Okay, so second column is completely as a way of what is the varchar variable, varchar. No, so that's what we are activating using of this get string method. Okay, the same way we are having string password, the same way we are cursor dot get string of this password is also having the data type as varchar. No, that's what we are making use of this get string method. Within that cursor dot get column index of mydb helper dot my password, right? So so each and every data of a particular attribute is going to be stored in a name, password and then CID. So using of this buffer, what you have to do is you have to append it. So buffer dot append CID, name and then password. So this is the first row information. So for every row, okay, for every row we have to append the informations in a line by line. Okay, that's what at the end of the statement we are putting as a /n. Okay, so at the instruction, this is the instructions of a first row. We are getting the information of a first row by attribute. Okay, so finally the entire attribute is going to append and then is going to show it as an entire row. So if I'm having of more number of rows, more than one rows, means what you have to do is this while loop is getting into the continuation mode until the end of the last row. Okay, finally we are returning the buffer. So this is the process to get the information of your data set, right? So and then we are having the concept of delete operation. Okay, so this is the delete operation. We are having the string and then username. Okay, so by giving your username I'm going to delete my data, right? So SQL database db equal to myhelper dot get writable database. As I said that this myhelper dot get writable database is nothing but where your database connection should be in an open mode, and then is going to give a writable operations to make any kind of modifications to your database. And then this is a string variable where you have to give your where condition. For example, I'm going to delete my particular row in a table, so here I have to give the attribute name. Okay, so this is the uname which you are passing the data of a particular attribute which is going to delete. Okay, that's what we are giving like this, right? So int count equal to db dot delete of mydb helper dot table name. The same way db dot delete is a method. Okay, db dot delete is a method. These are all the built-in function. The db is a SQL database class. For this we have created an object. So db dot delete is a predefined method, is having a parameter. The first parameter we have to give your table name. Second parameter you have to give your attribute. Which attribute content, I mean which attribute we are going to give to delete a particular row. Okay, so here I am going to give an attribute of name, right? So name attribute, here I am giving a name attribute. Okay, the corresponding name of a particular attribute is going to give it as a where, I mean where arguments, right? So using of this comma separator, you have to give like this, and then you have to give a equal and then question mark is very important, and then you have to give it as an where argument. So within your where arguments you will pass the username, I mean what the username we have to give. For example, in the demonstration I mentioned, no, I'm having Sudha as a username. I want to delete the particular row which is having the username as Sudha. Okay, so here in the where arguments, what will pass? Sudha will pass, I mean Sudha, the name of SUDHA, this content will be passed here. Okay, and then the corresponding attribute name, the corresponding field name will be mentioned here. Okay, so finally after completion of this operation, some kind of I mean the integer value will be written. Okay, based on this integer value only we will decide whether this operation get successful or unsuccessful. Okay, next we will come up with the update. Okay, updation process. So this update name is a user defined. Okay, so within your update name we are passing old name and then new name. The same way we are having this get writable database. Okay, so here we have to set your content value. So this content value is nothing but it consists of your attribute name, I mean the field name, as well as the corresponding entry of data is also will be there. Okay, so here you have to mention your old name. So within your updations, what we have to do is your old name is going to change by the new name. Okay, so the same way int count is there. So db.update. So db.update is your predefined, I mean the built-in function. So here you are going, you're passing this my db helper dot table name. I mean the first parameter we have to give it as a my db helper dot table name, and then content values we have to pass the content values like this. Okay, so within your content values you are mentioning the new name, I mean the existing name is going to change by the new name. No, the second parameter you are mentioning the attribute with the corresponding new name also. Okay, so and then third parameter you are mentioning the attribute of your table, I mean which attribute is going to be changed with the new name. Okay, so you are mentioning the username, and then same this equal, and then you have to mention this question mark, and then at the last parameter you have to mention where arguments. Okay, so in the where arguments only you are passing this old name. Old name means, I mean Sudha is going to change as a Sudashini. So here Sudha will be passed. Okay, so this content value is having a new name of Sudashini, but still it's having the corresponding attribute name itself. Okay, so this is the operations of your DB update. So after this updations, you is going to display, is going to pass the integer value. Okay, so this, I mean based on this integer value only we are able to know whether your operation is successful or not. Okay, so in this video we are not at all completed fully, just I have given the overall layout only. So I am going to brush up this concept. I mean we are having activity.xml, main activity.java, and then mydb adapter, everything is there, and then message.java is there. So in this video just we have looked into only the 2 Java file itself, which doesn't cover the entire operation. Okay, so just I am going to brush up the concept. So this is the message.java, we have created it. So in this message.java we are having the process of to show the information, I mean the toasting process will be there within this class itself. Okay, so whenever you are accessing this class and then this object, okay, so this is the whenever you are accessing this class, whenever you are accessing this method. Okay, so obviously what it will do, it will going to display the method, display some information using this toast. Okay, so using of this message.java is having the complete concept to show the information in a toast. That's it. Okay, so just you can clearly note that whenever I'm activating this message class, and then dot message of, and then passing this kind of parameter is nothing but what is the activity they are going to do is just I am going to display the message in a toast. Okay, so for this purpose we have created a separate class, that is a message.java, right? And then what we have seen is this is the mydb adapter.java. So within your mydb adapter the entire database operations is there, but still it's not fulfilled by activating with the user interaction. Okay, so this is the core concept how your database is going to be activated within your mydb adapter. So we are having the classes as mydb adapter and then my helper, I mean mydb helper is there. So within your mydb adapter we are having a inner class. We are having a inner class. Where is that? Yeah, we are having an inner class mydb helper which extends SQLite open helper. Okay, so using of this mydb helper we are setting the complete database name, table name, version, and then attributes name you are giving. Okay, everything will be set it right here. Okay, the creation of database and then creation of your table, everything will be done in the inner class of your mydb helper. Okay, so when what will be there in the mydb adapter is this. Okay, all kind of insertion, deletions, and then receiving, I mean selecting of data will be there within your mydb adapter. So this mydb adapter is consists of a inner class mydb helper. Mydb helper is nothing but it consists of creation of database and then creation of table. Upgradations will be there within your same Java file itself, I am saying. Okay, so within your mydb adapter we are having the entire operations of insertion of data, deletion, updations of data, selection of data will be there. Okay, so for now we have learned the core idea, I mean core code of your database operations, but still the remaining part is pending. What the remaining part is, we have to talk about the main activity, and then activity.xml is there. Okay, so this main activity is nothing but how your environment is going to interact with your database is matters. Okay, so this is the part we have to learn. This is the main activity. Okay, so within your main activity we are having a database app and then app compact and then app compact activity. You already know that there's some the basic packages will be there. Okay, the basic packages which is going to incorporate for different kind of methods, which can using of this app compact activity, various activities, informations, and then classes methods will be activate can be inherited using of this app compact activity, right? So bundle, so OS bundle is nothing but it's a kind of intent, to know the entire activity, to pass any kind of informations to another activity, we have to make use of this bundle. And then especially this bundle is going to save your instance, it's going to save your current instance, the present situations will be saved. It's going to store all the informations using of this bundle. That's what we are having this. And then the purpose of view is nothing but it's completely is going to act as a user interface, like the entire components of like text view, edit view, and then button, or maybe any kind of resources, database concept. So all kind of the guide based environment activities will be handled within your view, just like user interactions will be done using of this view. Especially you people have written your on click listener using of this view, no? So just kind of user interface, the guide based environment activities will be handled by this view classes. And then this is the edit text. Okay, just we are incorporating this control to your environment, right? So within your edit text we are having this name, password, and then old version, old data and the new data to be updated, and then deletion of informations will be there. Okay, so here we are giving the corresponding data at the front end. Okay, so these are all the name of your these are all the object of your edit text view. And then here we are calling this mydb adapter as a helper object. Okay, So within your MyDB adapter only, we are having the entire informations of your database operations. Okay, so protected void on create. So this is the very the default on create functionality. Okay, so this is the default at the very first time this on create is going to work it out. So this is the super on create save instance. Whenever you are doing any kind of operations, your instances will be saved. That's what they are having this constructor like this. And then set content view of r.layout is nothing but your entire environment will be stored within your activity main. Activity main is consists of all the informations in a way of XML format. No, so this R is nothing but they are saying as a resource. Okay, so your entire resource will be controlled here, and then you probably we should identify the entire ID of your controls. Okay, so using of this find view by ID, I'm going to fetch the complete controls, the name and then password, older data and then new data to be updated, and then deletions or deletion of data. Okay, everything will be captured using of this find view by ID. And then here we are mentioning helper equal to new my adapter of this. Okay, so we have to call this adapter. It's very important. Okay, using of this calling this information only we can operate this information in a front end. Okay, public void add user. So this is a public void add user. Here we are having this parameter as view. So every method, this is add user is a user defined method. So here you have to mention the view. Okay, so view is nothing but we are passing the entire activities of your environment, and then directly we will deal with the guide based environment. To interact with your system, to interact with your components, we have to make use of make use of this view. Okay, so your user defined method should have this view method also. Okay, so for this add user, what you have to do is name dot get text dot toString. So here I'm retrieving the information of your control. Name dot get text and then name dot name is nothing but edit text. Okay, so using of your edit text of a particular name, we are getting this information. We are retrieving the username and then password. Okay, so this is the edit text box of your name. This is the edit text box of your password. So we are retrieving the name and then password, and then we are checking this name and then password. T1 dot is empty and then T2 dot is empty. We are checking whether this name and then password is empty or not. Okay, so if it is empty, what we have to do is we are we are calling this message.java. We are calling this message class. No, so we are activating this message class and then message method, and then we are passing this the context, and then we are sending the message. Okay, we are sending the message. So by calling this activity, by calling this operation, what will do is it will display the toast method. Okay, that's it. So if I have given the complete information for my username and then password, it's not going to check with this if condition. Automatically it will get into this else condition. So within your else part, what they are having is long id equal to helper dot insert data. So what is this helper? Helper is the object of my DB adapter insert data. Okay, so this is the my DB adapter insert data. Okay, so it's going to call this insert data. Okay, so within this insert data, what they are having is we are passing this to string. No, okay, as you can see this, we are passing helper dot insert data. Here we are passing two strings. This is a username and then password, and then so this after this insert data, it's going to display some ID, which we have seen in the adapter. Okay, so if the returning mode of ID is less than 0, means automatically we can say the operation is unsuccessful. Okay, if the returning ID is greater than 0, we can say it is operation is success. Okay, So after doing these operations, we are emptying the edit text box, just like name dot set text of empty and then pass dot set text of empty. Okay, so in this video just I will stop it, and the next video I will clear you with the view data update and everything. So please keen to that. And the next I mean, for the time being, just I'm going to stop it, and the next video surely I'll let you know how the overall view, I mean overall view, how the way the main activity and then my adapter data classes is going to work it out, right?